Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. And also, Bron, that was such a good presentation to follow up against. So thanks for adding the pressure to that one.
I'm sure you'll be just as good, don't you? I have full confidence in you. Okay, right. Well, Paul, I will let you crack on with it if you'd like. I mean, we're on time,
Yeah,
so
let's do it.
you
Okay,
let me know if you're all good for sharing screens. Perfect. We can see that.
you can see that. Fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you for having me, National Careers Week, and obviously Sam and the Eric app. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about what the hell graphic design is. It's a little bit unconventional to hopefully some of the other presentations you've seen today, but it should give you a little bit of insight to who I am, what I do, and why I absolutely love the craft and the industry. So, firstly, who am I? I'm Paul O'Brien. I'm a design director based in London, and London today is nice and blue and sunny, so it makes it even better getting out into the city and seeing Covent Garden, where I'm based. It turns out that graphic design is my passion, despite not knowing that at the age of 16. I kind of always knew I wanted to get into the world of art and design, but I didn't know quite what industry or ways into the industry to do that. And I didn't really understand exactly what graphic design was until I was at university, where I studied graphic communication with typography. But after the first kind of few weeks at uni, I knew that that's exactly what I wanted to do, and it cemented the fact that I wanted to be a graphic designer. I graduated in 2014, working my way up from a graduate intern all the way up to design director, which is a title that I've held for a few years now at Elmwood in London. Our studio is in Covent Garden, overlooking one of the most famous buildings in the world, and I can see it out of the window there, the Royal Opera House. But we're not that building. We're across the road in a much uglier looking building, but it's a very nice view to look out to all the same. And as an agency, we do everything from sketching, we craft, we create, we visit art fairs to find the newest talents. We host events that celebrate everyone and all of our diversities, from days that celebrate Pride all the way to events that celebrate Black History Month. And it's always about learning and trying to understand that every walk of life is equal. And we want to make sure that we're casting light on all these diversities and inclusions. We always host big events like festival days, sports days, and big team trips away, where we can focus on team building and letting our hair down after a year of hard work. And we always make sure we're learning about design. I think this is one of the most crucial ones. Everything from going to workshops, visiting talks, and socializing in teams just to get to know each other outside of the work environment. But I didn't come here to tell you about myself and Elmwood necessarily. I think it's really important that I try to give you a better understanding of what the hell graphic design is. And for me and my peers, graphic design is the art of creating visual communications that solve problems with creative solutions. So we are using our creative minds to come up with the world's best creative solutions. And in other words, I would say we're probably the world's best problem solvers, because we get to do something that we enjoy doing and love, and it affects every single person on planet Earth, really. And what's crazy is there's almost 30,000 of us problem solvers in the UK alone. This number is rising, but we've got to make sure it keeps rising, because we know that the creative industries are challenging times at the moment, with government budget cuts and people wanting to study different things now that there's new technologies available. So we've got to make sure we keep it thriving. And there's around, well, of that 30,000, it's built up of loads of different areas within the graphic design industry. And that's everything from web designers through to type designers, all of which play a really pivotal role within the creative industry. And the segment of design that I fit into specifically and Elmwood is the branding side of it. So we do everything called the consumer journey, where it's all about everything that you see through the brand experience. But what does that look like? Well, it's certainly not this, although we do use a lot of fonts. It's actually more like this. And I'm going to take you through a little case study because I'm sure we've all heard of Byron Burgers. But what you probably won't know as consumers or as people, as passers-by, that during COVID, when restaurants were closed, they had to think of clever ways to keep revenue coming in. Otherwise, their business was potentially going to go under. Now, we knew that sales on Deliveroo throughout COVID were through the roof as people had more expenditures in terms of more salary to spend on things. They weren't going out so much. But they also realized that people really wanted restaurant quality food in their own home, but didn't want to have to cook it themselves. So that's where Deliveroo really thrived. But how do we use Deliveroo to generate sales and keep Byron from going under? Well, first things first, we got out the trusty pen and paper and got thinking. We knew people go on Deliveroo to get something a little bit naughty. You know, you shouldn't have those extra chips or 2 takeaways in a row, but sod it, you've come this far, you may as well add it to the basket. And with that thought process in mind, I got sketching all of my ideas on a notebook, trying to land that one big idea. Bingo. This is what we call in the industry a light bulb moment. I saw that sandwich between the letters B and R in burger, you left with the word urge. And when you're using the Deliveroo app, you quite literally are giving into the urge of ordering food, adding that cheeky Mackies to the basket or a pizza or an Indian from that local curry house. And from that simple idea, more ideas kind of blossomed and flourished. We used the just give in to the urge as a starting point to come up with a bigger idea altogether. And Lord Byron himself, who the brand is named after, was a poet. And Byron always had this illustration of a pickle, but with little to no meaning. So we revitalized George the Pickle as a poet mascot for the brand, allowing us to use clever copywriting throughout and bring new energy to the brand itself. So I use my words to tickle the mind, to prickle the brain with lyrical lines, like a satirical poem from ancient times. My name's George, a pickle that rhymes. And George's poems were used across everything, from napkins and wipes to burger wrappers and digital interfaces across social media and the Deliveroo app. And even on neon signage in their restaurants. When hunger starts to surge, just give in to the urge. Poetry in a bun. And just like that, poetry in a bun became the new look and feel for Byron across the UK, generating new revenue and bringing new life to a potentially dying brand. But that's not all graphic design is. Graphic design is the process of bringing together a whole world of different craftspeople, from photographers to copywriters or strategists to makeup artists, all of which work together to create solutions to a problem. It's doing super fun stuff like art directing photo shoots of food or directing videos of boxing world champions. It's working on brands you see in every home across the UK to brands that are sold in over 180 countries worldwide. It's working on products that will live on for generations. And as designers, we turn products into icons. And brand assets into storytelling moments. We collaborate with motion designers. And typographers. And illustrators. But there's still one more thing. Yes, the world needs designers and the creative industry needs you. So thank you very much for allowing me to take you through that today. I know that there's a few minutes left, so Sam, if we've got the time, it'd be great to have a Q&A, but I appreciate that you're running like clockwork on this.
No, well, yeah, we've got 4 minutes, so we might as well use it. Paul, what a fantastic presentation. Also, I definitely want to point out that at the end there, that was a real life show reel, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, that's the stuff we do at Elmwood and all the fun brands that we work on.
Amazing. So if anyone watching was not 100% clear on what a show reel could look like, that is it. So that's what you need to aspire to. No, that was absolutely brilliant. What a fantastic presentation. Okay, so we're going to ask, while we wait for the questions to come in, I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you the same question that came through for Bron before. So portfolios, paper,
Yes.
printed, digital, social media. Which one? All of them?
All of the above. I actually walked into the studio this morning and had a portfolio waiting for me on my desk, and it was the best portfolio I've ever seen in my life because the amount of Behance profiles I get sent over email or LinkedIn, and yes, don't get me wrong, there's beautiful stuff on there, but actually a physical image that or a physical piece that you can touch with your hands. We're tactile beings as creatives. We want to touch things and see things and smell things. So if where possible, if you've got time and the budgets to create some wonderful things, it's always going to stand out from the crowd. But when it comes to portfolios as well, just make sure you're injecting some of your personality into it, because at the end of the day, a lot of people can use creative software, they've got creative ideas, but people need to fit in collaboratively to the spaces as well and make sure they're fitting in with the team. So getting your personality across is equally as important as the ideas behind your work.
Absolutely, I completely see that. Yeah, and also just to quickly remind people of the platform that you mentioned at the beginning, Behance. Even though you
Mhm.
said it was obviously lovely to have a physical portfolio, Behance is where most professionals put their digital portfolios. That is
Correct.
okay. Fine. Any other digital platforms that you would recommend?
Squarespace is really good at building your own websites where you can use templates. I'd highly recommend getting on LinkedIn early, so then you're able to see what's going on in the industry, connect with people and network. It's a great way of getting your name in front of someone before you even get to the point of contacting them. I think if you connect with people and then in a year's time they'll be like, oh, I remember that name, who is this person again? You've already done the groundwork. So yeah, getting on LinkedIn is really, really important. And especially when I was freelancing, it allowed me to open so many doors with creative agencies because they were able to check me out as a person, as a profile, before I even walked through the door to help them on some of their creative.
Absolutely, it's a professional shop window, isn't it? And obviously, people should be connecting with you, Paul, and learning from your posts. And
Please do.
is there anyone else that you would recommend on LinkedIn to also follow for design
Oh,
information, news?
good question. I think instead of individuals, I would suggest following companies. So any design agencies that you like, they'll always be posting their newest work on there. Depending on the area of design that you like. I mean, I'm in the world of branding, but there's web pages, there's illustrators, there's typographers, there's motion designers, and all the teams that work behind some creative work. So I'd just get on LinkedIn, do your research. That goes much further than just sending out dry emails. So yeah, follow people, follow companies, get inspired, and you'll see what's happening in the industry in a much more kind of fresh way.
Yeah, and also real time, won't you? You know, it's
Yeah,
real people posting real stuff in the real design world.
exactly.
Thank you so much. That is actually all we've got time for. So any other questions, please do put them in the Q&A and we'll send them to Paul afterwards. But I just want to say thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic. We all feel so better informed about careers in design now. Um,
I'm
thank
glad you enjoyed it. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.